What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about Bam Adebayo, who, and maybe you didn't know this, leads the NBA in non-restricted area paint points. We're going to look at two recent games against the Milwaukee Bucks to show you how he's doing it. Let's get started here. So, first game of a two-game series against the Milwaukee Bucks last week. We've got early in the game a just traditional pick and roll between Gabe Vincent and Bam Adebayo. Okay, so right here you can see Brook Lopez dropping back against the pick and roll here. Bam up here setting the screen. So the Bucks are just going to employ, and they usually do, your classic drop coverage. This is going to guard the paint, the restricted area, the rim. These are the points that the Bucks don't want to give up. They're okay giving up this mid-range area because this is the least efficient shot in basketball for most players. For Bam, this happens to be his sweet spot. Let's watch what happens. He gets the ball, boom, steps into it. Easy money for the 11-footer. All right, another play here. No pick and roll, just getting the ball to Bam here on the right block. Brook Lopez guarding him, mano a mano. He gets to his spot, steps into it, fadeaway jumper. Good contest by Brook Lopez. Better shot by Bam Adebayo. Usually you're going to live with that kind of stuff. Now we're on to the second game that happened this last weekend. I think this is interesting because Bam had a really nice game in the win on Thursday against the Bucks. Then they play again this weekend. An interesting chance to maybe see some adjustments by the Milwaukee Bucks on how they want to guard Bam Adebayo. All right, so this is early in the game against the Milwaukee Bucks. All right, bringing the ball up in transition. Oladipo to Bam, steps into it. That's too easy. That's going to be too easy to Bam. Again, boom, comes off the screen. Bam, steps into a spot, hits it. Too easy early on. You're giving it up. Bucks, you got to make some kind of adjustments. You can't let Bam do this all day. What do? All right, Bam gets the ball here off of another screen. Now we see Brook Lopez playing up a little bit further, not giving up nearly as much space for Bam Adebayo. Let's see what happens. Bam working his little step, front rims it. Good contest by Brook Lopez. There you go, buddy. All right. Now what? We've got Bam Adebayo. This is off of a live rebound, bringing the ball up in transition. What do we see here? We see Brook Lopez here at the foul line, a step over the foul line, locked in on Bam Adebayo. He's not going to give up any easy points. He doesn't want to give up anything to Bam in transition. Usually, with a big man bringing the ball in transition, you wouldn't be worried about that player pulling up for a mid-range jumper, and Brook could even drop back and make sure that that big man doesn't get all the way to the basket. No, not here. He's at the foul line, waiting to corral Bam, who's going to try to get into that mid-range jumper. What happens? He gets to his spot. Look, that's a good contest by Brook Lopez. I have no problem with the defense, but that's just another example of just how good Bam is, incorporating now that fadeaway jumper. Let's just watch that again. The fadeaway jumper into his game. I mean, this is just hard stuff to stop. Oh, it's money. All right, same game, fourth quarter. Okay, what do we have here? Obviously, we've got Bam starting to set his screen against Brook Lopez. Victor Oladipo bringing the ball up. This looks like it's going to be just a regular pick and roll. Let's see what happens. Sort of is. Okay, so we've got a staggered pick and roll. We've got two screens set, one here by Max Strus, one here by Bam Adebayo. Cool thing about this staggered screen here, it's not going to allow Jrue Holiday to go under on the screen. So now Jrue has to travel a far distance and get over on the screen. That's going to provide more room, as we're about to see, for Bam to get to the basket. So Jrue Holiday going over the screen, can't go under to block any sort of driving lanes. He's going over, traveling a long distance to try to keep up with Vic. Now what happens? Okay, Holiday goes over the screen. Brook Lopez has to cover up because Jrue has to cover such a far distance. Brook Lopez has to step up and try to corral Victor Oladipo coming off the screen. And now we see nothing but paint, naked paint for Bam Adebayo. Pocket pass to Bam, finishes with a dunk. So watch where Brook Lopez starts, though. All right, he sees Strus coming up. They probably know what's about to happen here. This isn't that difficult of an action. But the fact that Brook Lopez begins this play pressed up on Bam, we just saw Brook Lopez hanging out at the foul line to guard Bam. Now he's pressed up all the way on Bam at the three-point line. He doesn't want to give Bam even a little bit of space, but what ends up happening is now Bam's able to get to his athleticism. So we're getting away from the skill work, the finesse stuff in that mid-range, and now he's able to just use his straight right line athleticism and get to the basket for a dunk. All right, a few moments later, we see Brook again hanging out here by the foul line, another pick and roll, no Max Strus involved here, just a traditional two-man game between Victor Oladipo and Bam Adebayo. So again, you can see that Drew went over the screen, right? You could see that he goes over the screen to try to chase Victor Oladipo off the three-point line. Again, this is typical of Milwaukee Bucks defense. They're going to try to chase guys off that three-point line in these kinds of areas. Now we have Brook Lopez here by the foul line, ready to corral Bam Adebayo. You're not worried about Bam picking and popping. He doesn't take threes in rhythm of the offense, barely ever, okay? He just doesn't do it. He's here at the three-point line, ready to corral Bam, knowing what spot that Bam wants to get into. All right, so Drew Holiday does a good job of fighting over that screen, cuts off Victor Oladipo's driving lane. Victor Oladipo is going to come back here. They're going to reset this screen. So that's exactly what they do, a brand new pick and roll. Brook Lopez still doing the drop coverage thing. Victor Oladipo's gotten into the paint. Brook Lopez now has to watch Victor Oladipo a little bit. Vic, backwards pass to Bam. Now, look carefully here. Bam was not really expecting this. He actually bobbles it for a split second. Just a split second, bobbles it. That allows Brook Lopez to show Bam his body. What happens here, though? Right? Because now you're worried. This is a 5-alarm fire. Bam Adebayo's been hitting this for 2 days against you, Milwaukee Bucks. Brook Lopez is going to lunge at Bam. Panicked, lunges at Bam Adebayo. Bam gets right to the basket. Let's watch that again. Gets the ball, lunges at Bam. Bam sees it, gets to the basket. One more time, everybody. We're going to do it in slow motion this time. Lunges at Bam. See where he is? Bam's got him wrong-footed. He recognizes it right away. Bam is lunging with his right foot, so Bam's going to attack that side of the body. And now we're seeing Bam use that athleticism and that agility to his advantage. So it's not just the ability to make that mid-range jumper, to just to get up and shoot over guys and attack drop coverages in his sweet spot. It's that ability to then counter stuff. When Brook Lopez and other big centers start to press up on Bam and try to corral him around the free throw line, try to take away that sweet spot, Bam Adebayo is then able to get to his natural gifts as just a physical freak who can put the ball down, get to the basket with force and with speed, and then get to the basket. And that's one of the reasons, and a big reason why, Bam Adebayo is having a career year.